What's good, everybody? Isage, isagebeats.com. Today, we're going to be doing something a little different. I had this great opportunity to basically go and interview virtually with this company called Kurth Media. It's a pretty new company that just got started, and they reached out to me to do a cool interview, and it was awesome, man. I dropped some really cool stuff and some cool gems, just about my album, a little bit about my personal life, and I just really wanted to share it with you guys. So we're gonna let that tape roll, let you guys watch the interview. I will definitely leave all the information for Kurth Media down in the description below. So hope you guys enjoyed the video.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining. I'm Nick Dennis. I am a journalist and content creator. And here joining me is Isage Beats, hip hop producer, engineer, beat maker, and creative entrepreneur. How you feeling?
What's good, bro? Appreciate you having me on the call, bro. This is surreal, low key. I mean, I know we know each other, but it's still like dope to like just be in a space where we can talk about just stuff, bro. Like stuff that I'm doing. And just be in this interview process. It's just, or like interview space, honestly, is really dope. So I'm glad to be on.
Yeah, man, I'm happy to have you. I'm so glad. And I'll get right to it. Our first question is, we're here talking about your Peace album and your album For the Soul. And we'll start with the Peace album and when you started. So it was in August, September, around 2018. It was actually released May 9th, 2019. So let's just start from the beginning.
Sure, man. Yeah, it's kind of crazy how the first album came together because it wasn't something I was thinking about doing, like doing albums. I was just making beats and kind of still figuring things out. And at that time, I was still like, honestly, I was still new to the game. I'm still not where I want to be professionally, but I'm still fairly new to like making beats and like the whole process, the business, all that stuff. And it just came together. Like it just literally was like, wow, this is gonna be an album. Like everything was just kind of just pulled together, and it really just kind of just made itself. It just really just came together. It was crazy.
Over time.
Yeah, over time, and I think it flowed through. What I was going through at the time. I was like, changing my life, and like for most people that don't know, I'm a Christian, so like I was changing my life and giving my life to God. So like all that stuff was flowing out of me into this space of music, and it started creating like this album. Basically, it was really crazy. And that was like a year before I even dropped it. Like I realized when you asked me like, oh yeah, when did you start? I was like, damn, I started that a long time ago. And that's kind of became my process for albums. It's like go ahead and let it flow for a little bit, see how you feel, and because I made the tracks, and then I just chill for a little bit. I mean, that had a lot to do with my life and me working and doing all these other stuff too, but I allowed the creative process to just flow. Like, okay, I'm doing this, and then I'll let it sit. I'll sit with it for a little bit, and then kind of just let it kind of do its thing. You gotta let the music kind of, do its thing, really, honestly. So that's kind of how it came to be and how it started.
And that actually leads me into my next question, which would be why the album? Like, why make it into an album? Because like you said, you had just this body of work, but why the album?
I think it, for me being, just an entrepreneur, being in that space, I wanted to create something that I could have, like that said, like this is where I was, this is where, I wanted something to kind of be a staple, like an album, like this. It's something that is tangible. It's a project, it's something I like to do, but it's like, I like that. It stimulates my brain. It's like, oh, I gotta tap into this project, get this project done. And I think it just, the pieces of work, like the pieces of the tracks, they were all cohesive, and they really represented like one thing specifically. Like they really represented peace, and what I'm feeling like, and all those just sat together. It wasn't like I just had a random track here, random track. Oh, look. But it just kind of became what it was through just me making songs and me having that idea of, oh man, like I could do like peace or something like that. So that was what kind of was flowing through my heart at the time. Like, okay, let's make a project to kind of represent that. So,
right.
Oops, sorry about that.
No, it's all good, man. You're beat maker and creative entrepreneur, so you getting those business calls in probably. But so the album is called Peace, the Peace album. So what is it that made you want to actually call it Peace album? And reflect, like you were saying, does that reflect what your life transition was going through? You're more peaceful now.
Yeah, man. I think for me, not to be too preachy, but finding peace in God, finding peace in through like crazy stuff going on in the world. Like for me, it was just like, man, like this is where I'm at right now. I really want to share, what I'm feeling. And I think the overall feeling was peace. That's what I was feeling. It was like, man, I finally have peace. Like I have a direction, I have purpose, and you can find peace in that. And that's where it was like, boom, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do that. That's gonna be the name of the album. And it sounds cool. Let's just be honest. Like it sounds pretty dope. Like Peace album. Like, oh, that's
Yeah,
cool,
the Peace
bro.
album for
Yeah.
sure.
So I think let's just be honest. It's a mixture of both. It's like you gotta have purpose, but it's gotta be cool too. Like that's the art. Art where we live in. Like you gotta kind of balance the both. It's gotta be really cool. Like this is dope, but it also has to have some type of meaning too. So I think I already had that down pat, and it was like cool. Like this sounds dope. It can really be dope. So let's do that. Let's go with that.
So where do you see the album going, and where do you see? I guess you could tell me where you see your music going. And for example, like I'm wondering, will we hear future albums and movies? Will we hear it in commercials? Will we hear it in music videos? I know you can purchase the album and play it in a car. You can play it for people. You can play it. If it's a CD, you can kind of play it anywhere. But
right.
Are you kind of gearing it towards being in film or something?
Yeah. Not this specific album, and maybe not even the last one I just did for the soul. I think they're just kind of pieces. Like they're just really cool just to listen to and enjoy. And you can listen to that in a way like first thing in the morning. It's like really chill. Like your brain is you still getting started with the day. It's not nothing like crazy, like you playing some trap joint like before you go to work. It's like 8:00 in the morning. You talking about trapping, like just something really chill. I think that's the purpose of these. But I think at the time my mind was, to be honest, was a little small in terms of what I could do with my music. And as I grew, I was like, man, I could do movies. I definitely want to do movies. I definitely want to do TV shows, and basically portray what's going on in the film or what's going on, in that video, that short film or that commercial. Like I can do that. And I want to do that. So that kind of answers your question. I definitely want to take Isage Beats to that level. Maybe not necessarily with this Peace album, but just with music in general, for sure, with commercials and things like that.
And awesome. So actually transitioning to For the Soul, which is a peaceful transition because it's going from Peace to For the Soul, which was released May 9th in 2020. There's kind of guide us through that gap from May 9th, 2019, and then May 9th, 2020. And there's kind of two questions. I also see a pattern with May 9th. Is that what's up with that?
Yeah. So like I said, I was saved. May 9th, I was saved, bro. That's a very, very personal date for me. And I think honestly, this was more personal than anything, both of the albums, because it was just like, this is something that symbolizes for me. Some people aren't religious. Some people aren't, into that type stuff, which is fine. But for me, it was just really personal for me to do that, drop it like that every year.
Go ahead. I did cut you off.
You
Will the next album or your next project, did you just want to do that, or will you keep releasing May 9th? Was that?
So I think originally, yes, that was the plan, but things change. I think for me, it's kind of geared a little differently now. I may get back to it and drop another one, not this year, because I know this year it's just not going to happen. I have some other things I got planned in terms of an album drop on my birthday, so it's a little different. But
which is
I'll drop a gem for it. It's called Back Bay. It's called Back Bay, and that's a real like personal. It's all personal stuff, and I feel like people are attracted to that. They just want your personal They want that personal joint.
Thanks for giving me the exclusive too, by the way.
Oh, of course. You already know, man. You already know it's good, bro. But yeah. So I was planning on doing that May 9th every year because that's kind of the day I was saved, and that was kind of like a changing moment for me. So it was like, cool, I'm going to drop these albums, and they really symbolize what's in my heart and like what's going on. And it's not, keep it a buck, it's not preachy. Like it's just who I am, like the pure heart through the music that people can like, oh man, I can feel that. Like, yeah, I may be Muslim or yeah, I may be whatever, but I still feel like where you're coming from. You know what I mean? I think that was really cool to kind of share where I'm at and share what's going on with my relationship with God through my music. You know what I mean? So that was originally the plan. If that answers your question, but yeah, I'm definitely kind of switching some things around and kind of figuring it out. I may get back to it though. That would be something ideally that I would want to do. Maybe like drop every May 9 something that's really like represents that though, if that makes any sense. And I think that's why I kind of started veering away from it, because it was like, this next album is dope, but it really isn't like tuned into that space that I want to be with the May 9th thing, if that makes any sense. So
Yeah. So why is it actually called For the Soul?
honestly, bro, it's catchy too. Keeping a buck is catchy, man. It's the music. I mean, I feel like both of these albums touch your soul. Let's just be real. It's like, man, like there's something here.
Before you finish listening to both of the albums, I kind of, so for me, like for our viewers that don't know, we do have a history, we have a friendship. So for me, I think I was kind of around when you were doing the Peace album. I wasn't part of the process and part of the Peace album, but I definitely was around when you were doing it. Versus the For the Soul, I was kind of away, and when it released, I was just kind of more so like a regular consumer, because I didn't even know. I knew you were working on it as your friend, but I didn't really know much about it.
Right.
And I can definitely say both of those albums definitely, For the Soul, it hits the soul. It's something you listen to definitely when you wake up, when you want to get some thoughts together, or just cleaning the house. You can play them whenever, but they definitely hit deeper, and they definitely it's definitely a great project if you're trying to do some reconstruction in the mind. So
yeah, no doubt. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, I really wanted to keep that same vibe, but be something different for the next one. Like For the Soul, it's kind of the same space that I want to be. Like I want to still like be in that. I want you to still be in that same space as you were with the first album, but I want it to be some type of difference between the two. You know what I'm saying? Just in kind of the way it was structured and the kind of the way it was, the beats were. They were a little more, I guess kind of like lo-fi-ish, but like more banging drums, like just a little bit. It's just a little different dynamic. They're very, very chill though, but they're also very different at the same time.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what would you say For the Soul is to you, and where you're at in your career? I know just previously, a little bit before, you were saying that you're starting to get into actually knowing how much time it takes to do a project. So, and I know you have future goals for more projects. Right. So where would you say For the Soul is in your career? Or what, like, yeah, so what does it mean to you?
I mean, it really was another steeple, because like I said, it was that basically 1 year anniversary of me being saved. So it kind of was like, wow, like this is a new year. Honestly, I was getting into producing as I was kind of figuring this whole thing out with like, who is this man guy? Like, what is going on? Like, so I was figuring all that out, and I feel like it was like, boom, this is who I am now. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of just another steeple, honestly. And honestly, you could keep it a buck. It really was. I think I made the tracks. I can't remember when I made them, but I made them a while ago. And I was like, cool, I might rock with these later. I don't know what it's going to look like right now, though.
You don't know.
Yeah, and then it just was like, boom, okay, well, it's coming up on another year. Like, what you think? I'm like, yeah, these will work. Like, this body of work will work right here. I put it in the group on purpose. I just didn't know what it was going to be. And of course, I went back to it, and I had to, update some stuff, take some stuff out, stuff like that, of course. But it basically was already set up for me to just drop it. So it kind of just was another organic, just the way it flowed through in terms of that chill space, but a little different from Peace. So, yeah, that's kind of what it meant to me. It just meant to me another year, like just like, boom, like another year. We still here, you know what I'm saying? Like, we still in the game. And I want to present something that's almost like a Peace version, 2.0 type joint. Like, it's a little better, you know what I'm saying? But it's still the same space. So I think that's kind of what it meant for me.
Yep. And so I see that now. Now that you explained that, I definitely could see that. So, where do you see this album For the Soul? Saying so. Do you also maybe see, now that you already have the project, maybe where do you see it?
Oh, that album?
Yeah, where do you see it as far as like plans for that album?
Honestly, I haven't given it too much thought. honestly, both these albums I haven't gave too much thought in terms of what they could be used for. And that's something I probably need to that's actually a great question. Because I think they're really dope. They can be used for different things, but I really haven't given much thought, if I'm being real.
Okay. And so for you as a producer, an engineer, all of these things, what can we expect for you in the future and in the immediate future as well?
Yeah, you can expect a lot more. I mean, I'm really working on kind of paving my own path and creating a structure or like more like an entertainment group of
Yeah, I see it
artists.
says creative entrepreneur, and I was wondering where I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, so. I mean, I want to tap more into that in that space of mentorship and especially for the community, the producer community, encouragement for them and like providing them value as well as like basically putting on artists and creating and building those artists up to basically do what I'm doing with my music, just instrumentals, but with their vocal, basically putting the two together and kind of creating something bigger than me. And it's a little unclear right now. I can't lie to you, but I had some really good just insight and just peeping some other stuff that people are actually doing. And I'm like, wow, I can do that. I can work with artists. I can bring people together and create this, this space for people to put out amazing content, which is really what I want to do. I want to be the backbone of that. Like, hey, I got something in my, I want to put out. Okay, but let's do it. Let's work together. I got the resources, and we're gonna put the best stuff out. Like, it's gonna be dope. So I think it's just paving a new path and space for the music industry, honestly, in a different light, just in the way I want it. If I'm being being honest, but yeah, it's something like that, man. I know it's a little unclear, but it's I really want to go big. There's no point. What I'm saying? Like, I want it to be, and not even when I mean big, I don't mean like famous or anything, but like I really want it to be impactful. Like, for impactful, real, you know what I mean? So yeah, I mean that includes music, like artists, that includes music, other albums, that includes social platform like my YouTube channel, and really like growing that for the producers and even people that just like listening to music and like watching the process. So I think creating that space is really what I want to be at. So
it's almost like you're creating. I know from knowing you, I know you want to do courses, but it's like you're almost creating courses because you're recording your process. So it's like eventually you could probably make those into courses itself because you recorded. Wow. Yeah, you've recorded you from the very beginning, basically. So that's good. I think you're working on things unintentionally.
Yeah, I think that's the beauty of it, though. Like, you put it together, you're like, well, you know what? And honestly, I've noticed it too, because I put tracks together. Like, I did a instrumental on my live last Friday. And by the way, I do lives on Fridays. I'm trying to be more consistent every Friday. I'll be on tonight. You guys won't see it this till tomorrow or whatever. But anyways, you get the point.
Future Fridays.
Yeah, Future Fridays. Go check me out, Isage Beats. I'm sure Nick will leave all the information for that. But I'm getting a little away from myself here. But yeah, I made a beat on the live, and I was like, yeah, this is a really dope beat. Like, somebody was like, yeah, this is dope. I'm like, yeah, I like it, man. It was just something different. And I was like, yeah, this could be on the album. Like, this joint could be on my new album, Back Bay. That's the vibes I'm having. And I was like, I'm killing two birds. Like, I'm doing a live. People like the music. They get to see the process, but it's also being used to build an album at the same time, like simultaneously. So, I mean, I know that's just one example. But like, when I continue to build beats, I continue to build content, like you said, video content, even this interview, stuff like that. This is content. You know what I mean? It's like, before you know, you're like, man, I got a bunch of stuff over here. I can just take that and package it up and, give it to people. You know what I mean? So I'm with it, bro.
Yeah. Well, Isage Beats, man, I just wanted to say it was an honor, and thank you for spending some time with me. You gave me an exclusive. Thanks for giving me that exclusive. And also, if this was some words of encouragement, we definitely have a relationship. We're friends outside of business, and you inspired me outside of business. So, if anybody doesn't know, you guys will be watching this, and now you do know, man. This guy's work ethic is like no other. And for you to put that same energy that you do and being a friend into music. Man, you can say sky's the limit. Yeah, it's a done deal, man. But like I said, thanks for joining, and One more thing,
Sure.
leave for the guests, leave us with where we can. Yes, I'll also, set that up, but leave us where we can find you at.
Sure. Yeah. It's so my Instagram is Isage_beats. So that's Isage ISAGE_beats. That's my Instagram, and then my YouTube channel is just Isage Beats. So ISAGE Beats. And then my Spotify is just straight Isage, just Isage, ISAGE. And like Nick said, he'll leave that stuff down there. But basically, just look up Isage, ISAGE. You'll find me. Like I got you. Like I got a website, just Isage, and you'll definitely be able to find me for sure.
Awesome. Isage Beats, hip hop producer, engineer, beat maker, and creative entrepreneur. Thanks for joining.
Appreciate you, bro.